I got to send you. Um, do you know the attorney named Shaquara Zachary? She wants to get in touch with you. Got a subpoena for your. No, no, no. She and I told her I would send you both each other's contact.
Good morning, Buffalo. It's good to be here today. My name is Austin Martin. I'm the co-host of the show, and we're joined today with the host, the conversation, Jim Anderson. So we have Jim in the booth, but as we kind of get situated, the rain out there, I'll take rain over snow. I will be honest. I'll take rain over snow. And I ain't trying to speak nothing. I ain't trying to speak nothing, summon nothing, but yeah, I'll take the rain over the snow. I'm definitely not mad at that. And if you want to join the conversation today, we say something that piques your interest. You just have a comment you'd like to add, you can always call in at 716-837-1112. If you want to reflect the community's voice, but sometimes the community can speak for itself. So if you have something you want to say, don't hesitate to reach back out, but I'm not going to hold the mic. I'm going to go ahead and pass it. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm great, Austin. Hey, hello, family. And like Brother Austin said, hey, it's a good day. And hey, look, that would be something. What do you like? Rain over snow, or snow over rain, or you could roll either way. You know to call us. Would you say any topic? Any topic you got? Because we're gonna be popcorning with some that we have. 716-837-1112. Remember when you get on, listen up, turn your radio off so that you can hear us saying you're on the air, and let it roll. And well, listen, we always got a third wave in here, extra resource of solar power, and um, they gonna say good morning. Oh, look at her. All right.
Say good morning. Good morning. See, I'm on the mic, DJ King Shine. He always yells at me for not being on the mic. I'm on the mic. Good morning.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know what y'all want to talk about today?
Hey, look.
Listen, this is what we can talk about. So there's a phenomena going on right now.
Okay.
And I think this is really relevant to the city of Buffalo, which is one of the most segregated cities in the country. And with all these things happening in politics, and we're preparing for this new administration at local and on a federal level, I think one of the things that I've been seeing a lot of things on TikTok is this thing about Black women who are just tired. And they are literally just sitting back and saying, like, I'm going to just watch this burn. Like for the next 4 years, I'm going to sit back because I'm tired. So have y'all heard anything about this? I would love to hear some callers about this, and even connecting it to the city of Buffalo. I went to an event on Saturday. There was a beautiful woman. Her name is Carlette Bradley. She had a retreat called The Check-In, and it was about 45 women, all kinds of women. I mean, PhD down to frontline workers. And they were all like very emotional on this whole idea of like, they're tired. Like they're tired of being the linchpin of holding things together, both personally and professionally. So as I'm in here with two men, I'd love to hear some women calling in, but like that's one of the hot topics right now, especially in the holiday season.
Well, I'm definitely in the sauce. All right. No, but really, I'm on it, and I tell you why. Because not only have they been reflecting that, but I tell you something else that they've been reflecting along that. I've heard some women call for, they don't want no women's march. They want a man's march. They stand up, they want men to stand up for them because they were pointing out, we claim we care about our sisters, what we would do for them. They're tired of being the front line on the political level, on the social level, even in employment, seeking and gaining the highest. And they're calling on the brothers to do something. And you know what? They got a right to be tired because brotherhood hasn't been carrying its weight. We still got a lot of street mentality among the brotherhood of playing the sisters up for how they look, how they sound, and all of that, but getting real representing on behalf of the community, we're not doing good. Individually, you see some hype up how well they're doing personally, but as a community, we're not doing like we could. We don't even help out other brothers who might be a little weak up.
I mean, I would even go as far as like, even when I think about like the mindset of what we've been conditioned on what's okay. I can remember times where, April Baskins was coming in, but she had her baby with her. Like, and I think about other races and cultures where they're not trying to do all of that. They have au pairs, they have nannies, they got little clubs where they exchange services to help each other. So I would love to know, like, when we look at these political agendas, and we keep talking about all these issues, that there's a lot of women leading, right, who are younger right now, who are in that situation where they have children of all different ages and trying to hold together marriages and all of that stuff. I would love to hear, like, just a men's perspective on that.
I'm cool with that. Sisters, any age, you call us 716-837-1112. I know me and Austin got big ears and willing to not only listen, but even, we'll dance with you on that. If they, because I do think, the emotions on either side, men or women, have to be contained, because there's a lot of emotion and a less really hearing each other. A lot of times we get prepared to respond to each other before we prepare ourselves to listen. And that means listen to some stuff that might pinch or sting.
I don't really have too much comments on it, but I guess my question would be, when I think about like the strength of a culture, like when I think about other strengths of other cultures, it's the nuclear family that kind of holds that together. And I think though it can be like, I know it's Black women and Black men have different needs, but I look at like the Black people, what is it like to support each other? And I know it often can feel like one way, but sometimes the lack of what somebody believes they have, or what one Black man may think they have, may cause certain reactions, or cause certain actions that we do, or certain ways that we don't support Black women. So I don't necessarily know what that looks like. I don't know if I have like.
Well, I think about like even, and I mean, I know we're going to get in some sticky stuff. When I look at like, there's a couple of people that I see online, right? And they are like air quote first ladies to these pastors who aren't working, or they're working, but these women who are trying to support their role. Like, what types of things, systems, and I mean, do people even see that? Or in your context, if you say the nuclear family, there's a lot of single moms out here trying to play both roles, working, and single dads, out here working, doing all these things. When we look at these political events and things that are happening, y'all always say, come out, we need to do something. Well, some people are just trying to get some sleep, because they are doing something. They're going to work, maybe multiple jobs, trying to hold down their families. What kind of agendas are we holding these political people to support the infrastructure for the things that you say that you want us to do? Like, I would love to know that. Like, I know they say get out and vote, but I'm positive that it was a challenge for a woman who's working in healthcare, maybe 1 or 2 jobs or a 12-hour shift, had to get a kid off to school, had to come home and make them home. And then you're like, oh my goodness, it's 8:45 and I didn't vote.
See, well, we're going to be doing a whole series about the need for everyone. The younger voting age, the age just before you can vote, but able to register on up the line, because we need to really reconfirm our understanding on how to participate in the electoral process. You're right. There's a lot of elements playing in there. You got a lot of people who think just telling somebody to vote is enough, and holding that over their head when the candidates before them probably are not worthy of their vote. I mean, I'm just being honest. And then at the same time, that shows a community that hasn't vetted who should be the one who they identify as the one that should represent on their behalf, so that we can do it together. We leave it out there, jungle up, and then it gets caught up with those with the big money changers and connections to make deals. It's so many. It's very complex, but it's worth looking at each of those complexities that play into it. And there's a lot, but that's why we have to continue to do the process of helping people understand how to negotiate the electoral process. There were a few years ago, in our community, we had a sister who who was running for one of the positions, I think either in the city council or the legislature. I think it was the council. And so she didn't make the ballot. She got challenged. So she couldn't be on the ballot. But she wanted to do a write-in. And in the history and the mindset in the community, that, oh, write-ins don't work. No, we never, and nobody has ever pushed doing write-ins with various candidates that much. And it just shows our ignorance, because having a candidate try and do a write-in for an election, nothing wrong with that. That's part of the legality of the process. But we have got people thinking that it doesn't work. It doesn't work because we haven't really tried it. We haven't put it behind the candidate.
Well, I just think that that's one of the things that I think, as we are out here with all these causes, even with the school systems and I think about all these modalities or these dynamics, and they'll say these parents don't care. These parents are tired.
You're absolutely right. And this is along with that, I think, and Austin, you weigh in whenever you're ready. One of the things I think is that there's so many groups, and people are trying to think they're showing good posture or whatever, and they're so connected with so many groups they can't even give real participation to any one of them. And when you're trying to do that, you get weighed down. And yet you need to have understanding about all the issue areas that are going on. But you need to think about where you commit your energy, because part of pushing back on being tired is not letting people suck you in or guilt trip you into, oh, you ain't at this meeting, you how terrible you are, or you must be at it. And our electeds and those who run the organization got to find better ways to bring forth what they're doing. You can't keep the community out one day. That means that interrupts their home life or what they could do. Now you got another demanding meeting the next day, too many Zooms, too much of everything going on. We need to slow it down, and it starts with you, the individual, rejecting it. Don't participate.
But how do you read? And I think this is a question, right? Like, how do you reject that when there's so many things that you're trying to accomplish? So one of the statements that I kept resonating in my head on Saturday was, there's that statement that says, it's good to see you. And you said, it's good to be seen. Mm-hmm. And so we probably heard that statement before. And when I think about, like I said, these political conversations, these religious conversations, these, all of these different, even these nonprofit, to your point, all these organizations and agencies, or all these people trying to launch something for all these different causes. But I think it goes back to something that you say a lot, Austin. I think we're all trying to create all these things because there's not like a single thing that connects us. There's no like functional organizational norms. And so in those contexts, when there's a gap, they said, if you want to get something done, give it to a busy person, right? What I would say, if you want to get something done, give it to a busy Black woman, because she's going to just make it happen.
I would say give it to some busy Black men, but that's
a really good question. But where are they? Because that's not really, when you're in these spaces, and maybe you can correct me when I'm wrong, like I always see them on the front line.
You're right. No, you're absolutely right. The false imagery in our community have been aligned with the wrong way. We think folks who wear suits are the brilliant one, but they don't do a whole lot of work. They do some. We think folks who don't wear suits are the real. They do some, but where's the evidence of what they've done? The point I'm making is that we got to get out of imagery and look at what is the evidence for either person, whether they're wearing a suit or not, of why we would justify them. That's a person I wouldn't mind emulating, that we would justify. That's a person who I trust and I would follow. And what we have is a lot of questionable folk, because they get caught in that wind that, you lead the huddle of that group you with, knowing what the issue, and you're going to represent on their behalf because they don't lift you up. But then when you get up to that level, the air is so intoxicating, you lose sight. And sometimes it ain't the air. You get up there and you kind of like that zone, and you actually abandon the representation for the community or water it down.
So
I
say
think
more of that. What do you mean by that? Like, say
I
more.
mean, we have a lot of people who have achieved position in the political arena. Take city council where you have majority blacks and couldn't get nothing done. Take when we've had the majority blacks on the city council, everybody's profiling, but where's the evidence of what they produce for our community? None. And when we look at even in the supposed to be diverse, look what we're hearing now. We find out every group got their own little plan. Yeah, black community got what they want. South Buffalo, which is basically white, got their little plan. The Puerto Rican community got there. We act like that's not true. We know it's true. Everybody's jockeying for them. But where's that one who will resonate a balance for the whole? Who's comfortable in doing that? Because when you do that, that means you got to take on some of your folks who try and make it seem like you're not doing for them. No, a role of a politician when you do get elected, yeah, is know the lay of the land, know the needs of the land, and know that your job still is to service the whole, not just for the ones who voted for you. But we're still playing those games. I heard someone on air on one of the programs talking about they had a call where someone said, "Well, I did call into their representative even though they hadn't voted for them," and they'd say something, because the person's already in office, and they didn't, basically rejected. And the person that was taking the call said, "Well, right, they're supposed to respond to those who vote for them. That's who they're gonna have time for." No, that's wrong. They that may be the behavior, but it's the wrong. Their job once you're in office is to serve the whole. And those who feel like, hey, we put you in office, but you can't put someone in office that requires everybody to engage to serve just for you. Everybody in office knows where the donut hole in the city of Buffalo is in black communities, is in Puerto Rican community, is in poor areas altogether. So they got nowhere to hide, but we the people got to get holistic in making our demand that they be accountable in that way and not keep us splintered up. We've been splintered too long, and it's shameful.
I guess the question is then where's the priority with us as a community? So I guess that's the question. So when I think of like you, Austin, with your friends, what do you guys see as like the priority that you would want to hold the politicians to, the leaders in the community to? Is there an expectation for young people?
I don't know if there is. I don't know if we even are worried about politics. Like, there's so much going on. You're trying to buy if you're trying to buy like a house, you're trying to figure out how you're about to start paying student loans. If you're trying to get a car, if you're trying to get like into the workforce, I feel like you have so many other challenges right now that like politics, we don't, because there is so much going on. And this is why I really do push back when people separate it between black women and black men. It is so much pushback because everybody feels like they have this particular issue that only they talk about, that they need to bring to the forefront. When really, I think it is more of a holistic approach to say, like, even before we say what connects us, how do we get information? How are we informed? Are we even informed? Because you could say like, oh, we need to support each other, but how many are all the black women in the city aware of the second district seat up for available? Because that's 2 black women. Are we not even informed on those things? So how can I support you if I don't know what you're doing? And that's not, to me, just a black woman thing. That's a citywide black culture thing. We are not informed. We're finding out about things late. We're finding out things after the fact. So with politics, as a young person myself and a lot of young people that I speak to, I know a little bit about it because I read the newspaper. But realistically, like, there's so much going on. I don't even think the average young person is comfortable hopping into politics. It feels like too much. Like it's too much going on. It's too many people running with every idea is new. Every program is new. Everything is new, and there's nowhere for us to get what it feels like, in my opinion, real information that's focused on what we need to know, and most importantly, how it affects us. So I believe until we answer that question, like we're never, how are we going to figure out what unites us when we don't have a way to talk or communicate? So I don't know what that media looks like. I don't know what that platform looks like, but I do believe I don't think young people are very involved with politics for the sake that I don't even think they understand how it affects them.
I agree.
Do you think that's with all young people?
Well, you can't say all on anything.
Majority of young people?
I would say
majority. I can't say all on anything, but I could say majority comfortably. Like the majority of young people, if you walk down the street and ask them, what is the next local election coming up, cannot give you an answer. And most people that are asking that question can't even tell them why they should have one.
And then I tell you something else. This is this part of that climate of making it seem like a win for you is a win through me. It sounds good, but what's the connecting point? So how does your participation for me help you as a young person? I'll stop by saying everybody that's running for office now, if you're not speaking with a plan towards young people. I ain't talking about talking to young people. I'm not talking about sitting down and just talking to them. If you don't have a plan for something to address, clearly you already heard it said, they have, and you know it. How they gonna get that house their parents got? How they gonna get that job that don't even want to pay them what they're worth, that with 10 to 1 say you gotta get in a training program. I'm not saying anything's wrong with a training program, but why is it always that kind of thing? And even as we look at beyond that, if we say there's having difficulty in school, where are we building the apparatus in the community to help support our children who are in school instead of just leaving it on the district itself, which, by the way, is diverse. I'm just saying, another knock on the racial kind of wall. Um, we got a lot to do, and I know some people don't want to hear it, and some people who are defenders of the old way will try to argue. Come argue. 716-837-1112. We ain't looking to argue, but we're looking to talk about ideas or mindsets that we know are in the community. And oh, by the way, I got some news for y'all. Next week, one of the mayoral candidates who has announced will be with us, and that is State Senator Sean Ryan. So we look forward to that, and we'll do our homework to talk to him. We'll have him, and everybody else that is out there. Those who have announced, as you Garnell Whitfield announced, and he'll be back with us again. And as soon as the present Mayor Scanlon announced, we hope he will join us. And now we're hearing today, as a matter of fact, that Councilman Wyatt, is making his announcement today. He's the councilman in the University District.
Running for mayor? He's going to run for mayor?
Yeah, he's going to run for mayor. And so there's two firms, we could say, with one more about to be confirmed today, and still waiting on the present mayor, Scanlon, to announce what he's, to make it official. Okay. And so remember, people, it's on us to make the decision about who we think is the best candidate. And that means looking at what do they bring, on what are they going to speak to address the ills that we already know we have. And so it's going to get serious, and you got to get serious. And you know what? You got to help others around you get serious. I'm not kidding about us doing updates, educational slots on what you need to know about the electoral system. For instance, some of y'all, I don't know how many of you know that in order to run for mayor, you have to announce between, I would say, now and sometime early January. And see, we don't know who's holding out. And, that may still come, but it's important to know the dates that matter. In June will be the primary. So that means we got to remember they're going to be doing petitioning early. You got to need to know what is the proper way to sign a petition. You can't sign everybody's, and you can't just sign in any party. So especially in if you're having the party primaries. You can't sign on in a Republican primary when you a Democrat and so forth. So we'll be doing stuff like that. Let me also tell you, if you haven't seen the news today, there was a report on about who rules Buffalo and where the money has been held, the realtors connection, the political connections, family connections, worthy of reading. It provides a lot of information on how the funds that should have been helping the city have been moved aside and who had hands in moving it. And when you think about, look, this is the first election for mayor that we haven't had Byron Brown. So people got to get unconditioned to what must have been a habitual walk, because when you look at how the city looks today, you have to ask yourself, so why did they keep voting for him? Somebody said because he was black. See, that ain't good enough. You see? Anyway, I know I don't have to tell y'all, but you know that. Listen, here's another big thing. Carrie Horn, as you know, is in court. She's in court on a case that should have been dismissed 2 years ago. They're dragging it out. The attorney that she had failed to move forth at the time 2 years ago, and now here we got them still trying to drag it out on her. Rightfully, the DA should dismiss it because the charge he was charged with is the kind of charge that wouldn't have required no incarceration and all that they're doing now. So to keep harassing her for this long, shame on the system. I hope that the new DA, I hope that he will act in service to the community in upholding the law to dismiss this frivolous action that is going on with Carol Horn. And I'm raising up community because I'm gonna be coming back forth with you with a day and a phone number where we're gonna have to call in and make this demand, I believe. I mean, I know the attorneys are in court trying to deal with it, but enough of this. We've had enough of dragging innocent people who have not broken the law. And even if they were in violation of any violation, that it doesn't require this and that justice has not been delivered over 2 years on something that should have been dismissed. Stand by for updates on it. See, these are the things, and this is where we can show our power. In any case, if we come together, and this, I'll tell you, is why Black radio is important. That you can engage in an action with your radio station on behalf of your community that is in better service to this whole city. You should want to do that. And so you're going to be called on to do that. And we're going to put up our talk about caring for one another. Outside. Do we go break yet? Or how you want to keep rolling? What do you want to do?
I'm not sure. My question would be, and that's kind of what I'm talking about, right? So Black radio is important for people who listen to the radio. But what if I'm in school right now? Where do I then get my update from? What if I'm not someone who has access to a newspaper all the time? Where do I get my information from? And I think until we answer those questions, it is good that we're connecting and making sure that people are informed. But there, to me, feels like Buffalo, everything is in silos. The way that we make money, the way that we transfer information, like you can feel like in your world, in your area, your sphere of influence, that you're super informed. But as soon as you break out of that, you'll find that like most people have no idea what's going on. Most people don't know. I'd argue some people who don't even know there's a new mayor, and like there's some people who probably still think it's Byron Brown in there. And I'm saying that to say like, I think that we're doing our part. You know, other people, the newspaper are doing their part. But how can we guarantee, what systems and plans do we have to make sure that everybody is touched with accurate accurate information.
I
Because right now I
love
see
it.
like
You
it's
will go first.
like it's so much
No,
much
I
easier to
think-
spread lies around than it feels like to get what's actually going on. Most people have no clue.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, even when we talk about like these divides and these expectations, what is that? There's this thing called the titled leader, and then there's the assumed influencer. Who is that for our community? I don't know.
Well, I can tell you for sure, you two are. Here's how. See, I believe that if to act a, go ahead, we can go to break and we'll come back.
We're not gonna cut you off. We're gonna do that after. You can go ahead and go to break.
Really, you think this is assumed leader? Like, see, I don't know who the assumed leader is. I mean, that everyone references.
We don't, and that's the thing. I always say that. And I'm not gonna cut you off, take away from
No.
the point, but I always say like, until we make advocacy a job again, that's the thing. We're like in a catch-22. You need people to take on this role of advocacy, but we're not willing to put up the funds to allow that to become a position. If I were to ask every Black person in Buffalo to give $1 a week so we could pay this person to go out and keep us informed, we wouldn't do it.
But who would that person be?
It doesn't matter who they'll be if we have no system in place in order to make sure they can be successful. Of course, nobody's going to step up to the plate because there's no plate to step up to. So you're wondering why there's who that could be. Like, that's like saying, I want to, who's the best soccer player in Buffalo? We don't have the pro team yet. So why would a great soccer player stay here?
Well,
you go to DC or go to Atlanta or go to North Carolina or go to like there's like we can't find that person until we understand what we even expect that person to do.
And I think there's all these people with these other sub agendas. Like, I know you're saying $1 a day, and that doesn't sound like a lot.
Oh, $1 a week.
$1 a week, so that's $52 a year. But there are a lot of people that are literally like they can't get their mind past that. You know, even when and it's weird that we can't get our mind past that, because I promise you, right now there are people figuring out ways to make sure there's a lot of stuff under that tree. But they can't get their mind around like an issue or an event outside of, like I said, I mean, and I know I don't even want to keep bringing up the church, but like they are really good fundraisers. Really good fundraisers.
So we are back, and I know, Jim, you were talking about actual title leaders versus like assumed leaders, and you were going ahead and you were talking. I didn't want to cut you off. But...
Oh no, listen, you wouldn't cut me off. I was excited because not only did you raise what is the right question from what you're thinking based on what you know, but I was going to say, when you raise that question, whenever we raise a question, the next challenge to us is to also raise what we think is the answer. And seeing that kind of helps to level it off, because then you'll see what you think is the answer, but it's better for you to see one so that you don't you're not rejecting anything somebody else may give you the answer to it about. But I think when we raise questions, we have that other pursuit is to find what we think is the answer, because that's the other part. And I don't think we do that in our community. I think even on air, we could say, oh, there's a trouble going on, but we never bring it to, so what's the answer? We're dealing with it. I'll give a classic example. The miscarriage of one of our already well-servicing sister in the community, Carol Horn, and the DA can do something about it. Here's what we can do, rather than people say, oh, Carol back in court. Yeah, but she shouldn't have to be. Yeah, why they keep doing that? Because we ain't made a demand. Let her go. Free her. Let's make a Moses move. Let's do one of them. Let's make a Moses. Let my people free. In other words, people, until we start showing the value of caring for our community, don't wait till it's personal, but for the whole of our community. That's why even on Black radio, we try and get the real issues and problems that people have in the community on air. Well, people got to be willing to speak up. We don't make them shame themselves. We don't do anything on them. They can call us. People can call us and put something on the air, and it would be the best thing if they're dropping truth. But if they drop in, something, thinking they can throw a rock and hide their hand, we don't want that. And yes, you'll be challenged on what you're calling in about, and you can challenge us. But I do think, again, speaking for politicians, they need to have a particular message that speaks to young folks. They need to acknowledge the fact that we play like y'all in, but you can't be in on what you don't fully understand. And some of them have smaller groups that they have worked with that are in their cluster. But again, someone servicing in the political arena is not just your cluster, it's for all. And if that was happening, I think we would see something different. If your consciousness was being raised to where you felt a real inclusion, even if you ain't in the seat, but you had a real opportunity to express someone to it who's elected, I think that would make a difference. And it can begin to bring out some ideas that can work together. But most of the time, after they campaign, they ain't doing nothing with you. If anything, they'll do something with smaller kids. And even, I mean, look, our whole community needs a shakedown, even on some of the organizations. Some of the organizations that claiming to do something. Where's the evidence? And where's the measurement? I grew up when we had community centers, and everybody knew the community center that just had a sign but didn't have the quality of service that they try to imply. We can't let that stand, because that's the kind of attitude that hangs over the east side anyway. That somehow they're self-sufficient, they're a low level. And look at the kind of things we invest in. Not that it's not, maybe it must be making money, but the quality, sometimes I wonder. But I'm just saying, look, we got more liquor stores. And I ain't mad with those who drink. And I'm just saying we got more liquor stores than we need. We got a lot of little food places, which some are better than some, but we can do better. The kind of stores we got to sell women clothing, I think women have a right to look sexy, but some clothing that are being sold to our to not only younger women but older women, I don't know. It just, maybe that's all available. But see, I know music culture helped set that, and movie culture, but we got a lot of things to deal with to get back to that level, to where the community used to have, there was a sense of respect. When you walked through a community, you knew you couldn't throw garbage down there, because somebody going to yell out there to pick that garbage up. You don't get none of that no more. You got people drive down your street and drop a bag.
I know. I was just saying that. Like, I pulled up into the parking lot for the church that I go to, and it looked like someone literally just opened up their doors and threw McDonald's bags and bags of food and stuff, just put it on the ground. I was like, wow. And there's a garbage can right there.
And who is that on? But us in the community. And then those who know that it goes on in the community and may not know who it is, still should take on cleaning it up. And cleaning it up doesn't mean you weak, but because eventually those who are doing that are going to get snagged. And there are probably some people who know who's doing it. But those who continue to do it get wise that, if they're cleaning it up, that means they got some kind of, we just got to bring those values back, and we don't have them.
But how do we bring them back, though?
I think our political leaders could help lead on that. They will have the biggest attraction in the community and could call together, not just the one little group that's working with you, but bring information that is good serving to everybody. I think sometimes even walking the streets of your community, so people who don't really know who you is, don't even know they can get a clothes, can see you. They're not doing that. They have certain areas they will go to. I'm just saying, we don't do enough to make our community feel like it's involved. When the various shootings that occur, nobody never see nothing, won't say nothing. We can't keep using the excuse, well, I don't want to talk to the police, because then why are we talking about and urging our children to join the force? We don't trust them when they get in there.
Yeah.
I mean, we got some stuff we got to deal with in our community, and stop being afraid. And doggone it, they need to start using this radio, not only this show, but I'm talking about this radio station. I mean, there's no other station that they can go to and get done what they get here. Look, there's a young man on another station do music, and we laughingly jumped into each other because somebody had posted something on Facebook, and after I saw it, it was down what I'm always talking about, and I encouraged the. So I said, "Hey, that's what we always talk about on Pound 96." I put it down. I actually put down Pound 96.5 WFO, the mix. And so this other, he's a disc jockey, and I will put on, well, hey Jim, I think, and he put down what his radio station was. And I said, hey, well, we can both rock because we realize we do have those in our community who go another way. I can envision us having a road show, being there on this show and bringing how we bring what we bring and have him talk to us. And because I do think we need to get a better understanding about how music plays into everybody's life. You can't just listen to music all day. There's and now that's something interrupting young people because part of why they don't get it because I'm bopping. Blah, 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 blah. I'm walking around with something in my head and I'm doing the rap. Amen. But I'm saying eat some vegetables.
Eat some vegetables.
You got me?
Yeah,
You feel me? I mean,
you only have 24 hours in the day. And so I feel like being intentional with it, being careful what you're letting into your mind, careful what you're letting in through your eyes, what you're seeing, what you're liking, what you're putting through your subconscious consistently does impact the way the community rolls out and the way the things that we hold as values or not values. And I think we have fallen quite a ways away from what I think. Like you couldn't like it would almost be a joke to be like, yeah, black parents don't discipline their kids anymore. But nowadays, I don't know if people would laugh if you said that.
I know, because I'm telling you, it would be a day that you would go to restaurants and there was certain things you expected from our kids. And it was like a while back, me and my mom were in Denny's. And you hear the kids acting up, and I said, no, I know that can't be us. Man, it was us.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
And I was like, we used to be able to take our kids to dinner. Well, I took my kids anywhere from a 4-5-star restaurant down to a McDonald's at the time. So we stopped eating there. And I never had an issue.
That's what I'm saying. But see, that's on, if not the parent, any adult in there could have lovingly done it. And when I'm out and somebody got their kids out and they sitting and eating and the kids are, like think the restaurant is a playground, I talk to the hey, come here. Stop running around people eating. Go sit down with your parent. And they like I'm the boogeyman.
That's courageous because sometimes people's backlash on that.
I'd be ready, but see, that's what I actually be ready for. How you gonna tell me it's all right to let your kids run wild?
Right.
That's a reflection on you. Listen, I've seen parents in the store and the kid is acting up and they can't get them under control. I don't think the parent can't handle them. I just think they be needing some help. So I'd step in from another one because you do have the element of surprise on smaller kids. Like, who are you? And they get like, and then now they're ready to get with the parents sometimes. Sometimes they'll still act like cry on. I said, do you hear me?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all right. You can get their attention, not threatening, but in a way to show that I'm serious, Yeah. But people, y'all here, and look, there's 44 minutes ago, a meeting started dealing with the Buffalo Bills Stadium, that committee the benefits committee, and it's supposed to be meeting at 11 o'clock to talk about the Buffalo Bills Stadium and everything. What you listening for, Buffalo? Ain't nothing for you. That we talk. Anyway, I shouldn't say that. But I'm just saying.
Where was that meeting being held?
It hit me in a moment. But Erie Community College North
Campus?
Yeah, the North Campus. And I wish somebody on that committee would come by the radio station and speak on any one of these shows about who got what. I wish some of these Black folks who were holding positions or getting people hired would at least read the list. Who? Anybody in the community got a job? I mean, seriously. I mean, only one name I know that may have gotten something, and that's Larry Stitz. I ain't heard no other name. I ain't even heard a peek out of those who claim they getting people hired. See, community, this is what I'm saying is not right. It's not right. Ain't nobody mad because they got an inside track, maybe got a little money, help to get it done. Not thinking about that. But we need an honest report to the community and evidence that make us feel like, hey, something's in there for us. Folks been rapping like it's good. Where's the good? And I don't mean, again, not all y'all that getting a little side-time jobs whenever they play here. I'm talking about supposedly got something out of this $1 billion contract.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with us asking you to be forthful, come forth and speak on it. Shame on you for not doing it. And shame on us, we the people, for not making them do it. All these people's uncommitted. Look, just last week, the people, there was one of these committees that is representing using the city money, and Mayor Scanlon was questioning them on their travel. And news that they didn't want to speak on.
One of them's relocating now, and the other one's still here. But there have been some other resignations also that have been happening from people who were working for the mayor in the last.
Yeah, and see, some of these committees that get appointed, they take the luxury of, because they can get funded to go here and to go there. They need to be questioned. They need to be transparent.
But they can't just be looking at us though, because if we were doing it, there was other people.
No, but this is what I'm saying. But see, this is the problem. The ones that do it now, as soon as they get caught, they're gonna say, "But everybody else was doing it." Don't care. Why didn't you say something when everybody else was doing it? You didn't say nothing. You come in and do the same thing, and yeah, they drop it on you because you ain't got that kind of connection. And you know what? You shouldn't have that kind of connection because you're undermining us in the community. Walk around huffing and puffing like you're so great. And here we thinking our folks are serving that iron. Just shame on us, community, that take that crap. They don't want to show up. You got to beg them to show up. I mean, look, I know you want me to call some name. I hear you. Here's Herb Bellamy Jr. He's chair of that committee. He wouldn't speak about the travel, why so much money on travel. Why won't you speak on it? And why won't you come here and speak on radio about it now that it's out? Got people looking at you like, what's wrong? Shame on all y'all that are hiding in these kinds of things. But I'm just saying, new day.
We have a caller who wants to weigh in on the conversation. Caller, you should be on the air. Good morning.
Wait a minute, caller. Hold on. Turn it up to me.
We have Scanlon that's in power as the mayor. But you got to look at the Common Council. He was part of the Common Council when all this stuff was being done as well. So the Common Council puts stuff on the table that goes across before it goes to the mayor, and then it goes up to the line. So here it is. Now he's going back and figuring out some stuff that was taking place when he was on the floor.
See?
So we got a lot to do. And when you calling them out, let's call them out. If the water authority is taking bogus trips like that,
yeah,
we got a problem with
that's what it is.
And everything else.
Herb Bellamy Jr.
They can take big trips. How do we deal with it? So I think it's imperative that the city of Buffalo start going to these Common Council meetings as well right now, because it's shaking up a lot of stuff. It's stirring up with the American Rescue Plan funding that they now want to take money and pay off the budget with. When Mayor Brown was in office, he did some things, and now they stripping everything that he has done on that level, even from jobs, from appointments. City Hall is getting ready to have a major shakeup, okay? And that's just checks and balances. But that happens anytime anyone gets into power, and they have their own mindset about what's going on.
Well, you're absolutely right on that point, and that is why the community has to rise itself up in understanding how to use the electoral process, and even in utilizing it, understand how to deal with those who fail to serve the best interests of all of us. Look, someone
Right.
brought
You
in the
have,
office.
you have a Terry. Yes, sir. You got a Terry Anderson that's running for mayor. You have a Rashid Wyatt is actually making his announcement today to run for mayor. We're going to get these folks in on to the Jim Anderson show to talk to you guys. Senator Ryan coming on next week to talk. So we're going to have to figure out how we're going to have to do it. We might have to do a forum to bring them in before everybody else does a forum and see what their goals and objectives are. I'll get off the line on that there.
Hey, that's a good point, and I think those who are close to anybody running for anything, drop this little word in their ear in case they're not listening themselves. Tell them they're welcome to the show. If be nice and give me a call 716-903-5648. You hear me? That's 716-903-5648. Have them call so that we can get them lined up to be on. Now, I don't want them to be, somebody told me they're going to duck you. I don't believe they're going to duck me. They know they can talk to the people here, and I wouldn't disrespect any of them. I might push back on some stuff, but I think, somebody coming with how they can help make the city, we need somebody that come along to talk about how they're going to help bring more money, keep more money, and make that money go to the places where it goes. We don't need no more folks that are coming with nothing.
Oh, James Payne said, I'm coming.
All right. That's right. See, we got another contender.
I didn't know that. Okay, so they're running for mayor too?
But he's throwing his hat in the ring. And so, listen, this is about to get thicker and thicker.
So before we wrap up for today, we want to make sure if there's any upcoming community events. I think Northlands has their event this week, right?
Yep. So we have a Christmas event tomorrow. I was going to mention it. This is we're kind of closing out from 4 to 7. So it's going to be at the Northland Workforce Training Corridor, which is 683 Northland Avenue. We'll be giving away hats, gloves, toys. You'll be able to take photos with Santa. There'll be other kind of family-friendly activities, a raffle. And so it's just something that I feel like if you need, getting cold out, you know you have young people who need hats or gloves. I think every young person deserves to have a Christmas experience regardless of their parents' financial situation. So it's really just an event where it's truly about giving back. It's in collaboration with Dion's Dreamers, his nonprofit, the player for the Buffalo Bills. So I'm saying that to say it's a collaboration of a lot of organizations truly trying to give back in a way where it's not stipulations or things of that nature. So it's free admission. Giveaways will be free. So really just come out if you need those things, or if you just want to have that Christmas experience. And I don't think that that's the only Christmas event going on, but that's or only event coming up. But I think that that's a very important one that we mentioned, just because, like I said, it's about that time of year. So that will be happening tomorrow from 4 to 7.
All right. Hey, dang it. Hey, let me tell you something else. We couldn't make it, but I always talk about people talking about Black Wall Street, and they tend to talk about it from zenith rather than how I got started. Well, amazing event last week. Production, a movie, a documentary put together by Tala Harden, who is a video movie maker at the History Museum. And you're talking about something that blow your mind. It features Dr. Barbara Nevergold. And man, they the piece started with her talking about Tulsa and the gentleman who was the springboard, who provided the money, who led, organized, and as they rose, and what happened to cause the riot, that massacre. People call it a riot, but it was a massacre, and they talk about how the young man and everything that was. And guess what? While we were there in the museum talking, the granddaughter and the nephew of of the gentleman, Mr. Smitterman, AJ Smitterman, who started it all. Wow, we're going to be having them on the show, but you talking about, as we talk about reparations, because that's where reparations, they were talking about it. So the family members going to be on, the producer, Tyler, Robert Nevergo, we're going to get them on. It's fascinating. And Barbara Nevergo and Peggy Bertram have written a book that updating on it. And I'm talking about mind blowing, and we might wind up featuring it somewhere. Anyway, that's another talk. But it was powerful. It was powerful, and I raised that because as we talk about reparations, we need to understand it from a level. Oh, Robert never go also talked about the many other Tulsas that had occurred in the country, and I mean, you're talking about mind opening. Nobody in the room had that depth. It was powerful. So community, get ready for that. And man, I'm still zooming for this. Yeah, to see. I mean, this young lady, Tyler Harton. I mean, it just blew everybody in the room's mind. And they're gonna be doing a follow-up meeting because people were inspired. It was like a call to action. And I don't do it enough service talking about how excited I was about it, but I know when you get a chance to see any of it, you will like, wow, and feeling. And it's going to challenge well, there's a reparations committee that met. I don't know what they talked about yet, but maybe they'll come by and see us. See, folks, help call them out. Tell them the mics are open on conversations with Jim Anderson, Austin, and Murray. And Natasha, and I'm just saying, tell them. Don't be afraid to tell them. That's a power move. Tell them, don't whisper to you in the corner. Tell them, go tell it when it ain't the mountain, but come bring it where the voice need to be heard. That's all I'm saying. Look. If you really love your community, you talk to your community. That's what we do every week. That's why we talking to you, and we talk to you in a way that we know you're like we in the kitchen with you, or we in the living room. We you say, hey, you know what we mean. You know how it go. Well, I'm just saying, so do those who claim to represent us. If they can talk to us and claim to get us to understand enough to vote for them, that they understand enough to tell us the truth about what's going on. Quit walking around like they got muzzles and silent. I ain't stepping on nobody's feet. Maybe there'll be a rush to call that. We got to get off air. I'm getting it back to you, Austin. I got in trouble.
No, I appreciate it, and I think that I look forward to next week and the following weeks where we can have some. Just be informed as to what's going on. I believe when we become a community that's informed, only then can we really know what we have to do for change, because we don't even know what we're currently going through. Everybody got their own problems, and I'm not going to go on a segue because we're getting off the air. But it was a pleasure to be here this week. Thank you, Buffalo, for staying tuned with us. Make sure to come in next week. Tune in. We'll have Senator Ryan coming to talk about his plans and what he wants to do kind of regarding this mayoral race. So a lot of information coming on, but you got to make sure.
You see, and that's how I was shutting up. You know what? Don't stop bringing up the fact that, hey, you're a young person. Talk to me. You're representing on the greater whole. And I'm just telling you, for me, every time you do that,
I'm going to do my part, and we got to do our part to keep pushing. So thank you, Buffalo. Thank you, Jim. And we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
Hey.